Hello lovely Stitchy friends, I'm Kat and I'm delighted you could stop by my channel, Catkin and Lily, where we talk all things cross stitch. It's the 11th of September and it's FLOSSTUBE number 56, so I hope you're ready to catch up with everything that's been going on in my Stitchy world for the last couple of weeks. And I've got to be honest, I'm feeling just a tiny bit scattered. It's been a little bit odd. I made a lot of plans in my last FLOSSTUBE 2 weeks ago and I don't think I've done any of them. Well, I've done one, but literally one plan has overtaken basically everything else. So we will get into all of that, and I have got a few whips. It's maybe not as many as I have had in past weeks. Not necessarily a bad thing, but a few different whips, so that's works in progress. Sadly, still no finishes and FFOs, and yes, there was one I thought I would absolutely have that I have not. I have got one new start. I've got lots of new stash because I've been at a Stitchy retreat. So that's very exciting, and I did buy a few little bits and pieces. And of course, we do need to come back to plans because, yes, well, as I say, a lot of things got shelved. But, actually for a good reason, really. So we'll come back to that. With plans, and we'll wrap up at the end with a little bit of AAB. Of course, before I dive into all that good stuff, I want to say the hugest of thank yous. If you've pressed play and come to watch me today, I can't think of the right words, honestly. I'm always lost for words on this bit. I'm not lost for words for much, as you know, but in terms of how much it means to me that you guys come and watch me, yeah, it's hard to find the right words for that. So whether you are a returning viewer, whether you're a new viewer, whether you're a subscriber, whether you're not even a subscriber, although to be honest, if you enjoy this, please subscribe because it helps me reach more lovely cross stitchers and connect with them. And it just means you won't miss any of my videos. So yeah, that would be much appreciated. And as I say, I love that you're all here to hear me, as usual, get very excited about cross stitch. Now I do have something else actually that I wanted to mention before I get into all the stitching, because many of you, if you've come back to watch me again, will know that I also have a Patreon membership that I'm full-time cross stitch with all my designing and YouTube videos and my Patreon membership, and I love sharing when my Patreon members get up to good stuff. And one of them, Suzza, has started a blog. Now, bear with me, because blogs, you might be thinking blogs are dead. Are they not? Are they not dead? Well, I don't think so. And it's basically, she started this as an alternative to FlosStube. And it's a really good idea because not everybody wants to be on camera, but also FlosStubes take a lot of time to record and, you know, edit if you edit and all that stuff. And they take a long time to watch. And there's an awful lot of them, which is, as I say, why I always appreciate you coming back to watch me. So having what is essentially a written FlosStube, I think is fantastic. I think it's a really lovely alternative to having a FlosStube. So I will link Suzza's blog in the description, of course. Now, I don't know what you, obviously there was debate about what you call a written FlosStube. Suzza's landed on Cross Stitch Bonanza, which I love. And obviously you can still catch up with all of her ongoing projects. It's got all the details on there for you. Loads of fabulous projects. There's a Fancy Lady, there's Long Dog Sampler, there's some Stitchy themed projects, and there's a lot of dragons. She does like dragons. So if you're into all of that, as I say, I'll pop a link in the description. I would love for you to go and have a look because, as I say, it's not going to take you as much time as watching a FlosStube, and you still get to catch up with lots of Stitchy goodness. So I thought that was fantastic, and I wanted to give that a shout out before I dive into all of my stitching. But now we can get into it. Now, as I say, I've got all my projects here. They're not as organised as I normally am. I did mention I'm feeling just a wee bit scattered. And there's a lot of projects that I have not got to share with you this time round that I usually do. And that's because I've been focusing on my Halloween design. That's the last one I'm going to show you today, probably. Actually, it might not be because I usually save the new start until the end. And so that's probably the last one I'll share with you. So yes, I'm blaming my Halloween design, which is the Halloween stack, because I think I mentioned last time, I designed this and really slightly forgot quite how long it was going to take me to test stitch it. And I have to test stitch them because I tweak so much along the way. No exception with this, because it's so big, I'm spending a lot of time tweaking it. So I think I'm up to, well, I'll tell you when I get there. Anyway, we will get there. But all that to say, that has taken pretty much all my time. I've been virtually monogamous with that one over the last week or so, with the exception of what I stitched at the retreat. So yes, I didn't even finish doing the beading on the sorceress. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I sat here 2 weeks ago and said there was not much beading left to go on the sorceress. If I didn't finish it, then something had gone horribly wrong. Well, it hasn't gone horribly wrong. It's actually fine. Nothing's gone horribly wrong, but plans definitely derailed. So I haven't finished it. But we still have a fancy lady, because of course I've finished my stitching on Gaia, so I don't have her to show you. And I haven't finished the sorceress, so obviously I don't have that one. But I do have a fancy lady. And no, it's not my new start. But this is Julia the Firefly Princess. So I'll pop my info panel up on that side. Hopefully there should be space for you to see what the project will look like when it's finished, or the fabric I'm using, all of that good stuff. And I will have to dig through and find where it was at last time I showed you this, because it's been a while. Apart from probably in a whip parade. Yeah, I think I had a mid-year whip parade, so you probably saw it then, but I hadn't touched it for ages. So I started this on the 31st of May 2024. It's well over a year old, and she has sat languishing while I worked on other fancy ladies. But so you can see where I was last time, and I'd started at the bottom in the middle, as I like to, and started working up, and I brought her out at the retreat, weekend retreat that I was at, and here she is. So I've worked on, where did I work? I've worked up on this pinky section, and then also in the yellow as well. So I'll bring her in from the bottom so you can sort of see some of the bits that I've done before, all these little wibbly bits and ribbon, and then this is the big chunk that I've been working on up here. I think I've done this chunk here. I've worked in this yellow section and all on the edge of this pinky purple, which is just gorgeous. It was so nice to get her back out and work on her. Now I don't know how much I will work on her over the next couple of weeks, because there's still a lot going on. So it might be that that's all she gets for a little bit, and you might not see her again next time, but she will definitely be much more back in the rotation and much more evident over the next sort of months or so. So yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Next up we have Dragon Race Into the Night, and this one is upside down is what it is. This is pretty unimpressive. I'm going to be honest with you, it's pretty unimpressive what I've done since you last saw it. In fact, I need to unroll this a little bit. I did say I was a little bit not really quite as prepped as I normally would be for this, but you're not going to see a lot on this one because I have had one day, I think I picked it up just so that it didn't have nothing. But yeah, after the last couple of times I've shown it to you and had several thousand stitches to show you, this is 589 stitches all on one day, and I'll tell you now, it's in the sky, so it's up here. And I just did that section because it was easy. And I just needed to put in some stitches, and I needed to work on the sky because there's a lot of it. So yeah, just sky. I mean, I'm still bringing it because any opportunity to show you this gorgeous project. But yes, not the most dramatic stitching. It did get something. Again, I've just had to be really ruthless and say I can't stitch on that. I have to do the Halloween one. But yes, at least there was a little bit. And in fact, actually, I mean, the percentage on that one, I say 589 stitches, that got me from 4.42% to 4.53%. It's like 0.1%. So yeah, we won't go there. The next one I have, we're starting with all the big ones at the moment, because the next one is the Fisher King by Long Dog Samplers. So this is the one I've been stitching. I was stitching for the Whip into Shape, and I'm going to carry on stitching for the extended marathon stitching challenge hosted by Andrew the Runner Stitcher. And this one had a good bit of stitching basically on the day that was the last day. It was the day that Andrew would have been running his marathon, but wasn't able to, and now we've extended it. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all of that. But I did get to stitch on that day when he would have been running. I was like, I'm going to try and do as much as I can. And I think I did 700 something stitches. So yeah, I worked on the absolutely fantastic ostrich. So here's where we got up to. And yeah, all down here with this fabulous, fabulous ostrich. Just look at that. Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun. I think I finished the, I think I had these guys here and this duck. There's a little tiny one here. So I've just added this one and obviously started with this patterning coming out here. I love it. It's, yeah, absolutely fantastic. But that was, yes, that was, yeah, coming on 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks ago. And then again, I haven't touched that one since. Can you see there's a little bit of a theme forming here. Next one is a little bit of a different one. I think we've got some slightly different stuff thrown in here because I've got Seaside Tiny Town by Heart in Hand. Now this was not scheduled to make an appearance at all, but again I did a little bit at the retreat that I was at because it was a nice small project. So it's kind of what I got out to start when my first little bit of stitching at the retreat, just to kind of, you know, get myself into it. And someone else was stitching it as well, so it was kind of fun to compare. So this is the bit that I got done while I was there, and you'll see, I think it's just, oh actually I think I had a little bit on the White House to finish and then the brown one. So that's the bit that I've managed to add. Still very, very cute. Very cute. So that is almost done, and I think that's actually halfway, is kind of in the middle of that house there. So that's quite good, but there's still quite a bit to go. And I tentatively kind of wanted it finished by the end of summer. Well, yeah, I think we can officially say we're not in summer anymore. The weather is feeling more autumnal. There's still a decent bit of sunshine around, but I probably do need to finish this one. And it's very cute. It's very cute. But anyway, it's nice to just have that one back out for a little bit. Now actually this next one is kind of in that summer vibe as well, but I will not be putting this one away, I can tell you. Even if summer is gone, I will be stitching this one. This will be out for a while. This is Little Pirates by Suzza Stitch. Now, there's not much stitching on here and it's on a very, very big piece of fabric, so I might just still keep the small board here and we'll just kind of wrap it round. Because it's a very, very long, thin design, and I've not done very much of it yet, so I might just wrap that round there like that. As I say, this one won't be going away because I'm doing this for the Stitchers Football Challenge. It's being hosted by Lynette, Yorkshire Stitcher on Instagram. And so I'm doing this, I've got stitches that are mounting up for every game that Liverpool Football Club plays. I get, depending on all the things that happen in the game, I get a certain number of stitches to do. 3 matches so far. Current total that I'm aiming for is 928. And There wasn't a lot to see last time, and I think there's a bit more. You can definitely see there's actually a little person in a rubber ring with a fishing rod. Yep, still looking, obviously it's a little bit blobby because there's no backstitch, but it's still super cute. Isn't it adorable? I was like, even like that, it's so cute. Just, I love those colours. And that is 901 stitches. So I'm just a few off of the target. So I think what I'll do in the next football match, there's one at the weekend, I will probably just pop those stitches into top up and do some backstitch, because this one needs backstitch as I go. My mum made a plea for backstitch as I went, because otherwise it doesn't look like a whole lot. And she's right, It does need some backstitch as I go. So I will do that. So I think that's what I'll do in the next football match, is just tot up those, try and catch up to the stitches that I've got. And then obviously after the football match, I'll have another lot to do after then as well. But as I say, that one I have been trying to keep up to date with, and will keep bringing that one out. Now we're on to the last and very exciting one before I do my new start, which is also actually very exciting. We are on to Halloween stack. We are on to the reason that my stitching, everything else, has been a little sparse over the last couple of weeks, because it has literally just been this. Now I've had this rolled up, and the bottom of this is very, very rolled. I might have to clip this one. Never mind clipping it at the top. I might have to clip this at the bottom on my board, because it's not going to stay unrolled otherwise. So I'm going to clip it at the bottom. Now I've been doing little sneak peeks of this on Instagram, so you may have seen some of it, but you're going to get a full look now. And we're still a little way off being done on this one. We are at about 70%. And yeah, I'm just going to show you. I always get nervous about this. I don't know why. I don't know why I get nervous about my own designs. Well, I do know why. Obviously, it's probably normal. But anyway, I'll show you, and then we'll have a little chat. This is where it's at. Now, I don't know whether I'll have put up where I was last time. If I did, you can see. I mean, I've done a lot more since last time. Now, there's lots of bits missing in here. There's lots of backstitch bits and all sorts of details and bits that I've missed because I don't know what I'm doing with them yet, or haven't finalised them. I think most of this bottom section, most of the stitching is done, apart from there's some sort of chocolates and sweets and lollipops to go in the treat bucket that I haven't actually finished. Obviously there's an oar to get stitched on there. There's lots and lots of backstitch. Most of this up here is done apart from backstitch. I'm currently working on the little broomstick here. Obviously this one I haven't got as far as any border up here. Yeah, the only bit that's really backstitched, I've done a little bit on the cat here, and of course the frog. Now the frog has been very popular on Instagram, quite rightly. But that's where it's at, and you can see if I come back here, you can see how much taller this is. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and there's 2 more to go. 2 more blocks. And lots more fun motifs to go up there. And lots of backstitch, and yes. So, considering it's Thursday, and I was hoping to get this done for release at the weekend, which, depending on when you're seeing this, you might well be watching this. I film it on Thursday so that I can get it out early for my Patreon members, and then it goes live on YouTube properly on Saturday. So for most of you, you're probably watching it on Saturday. And, well, You'll know better than me if I manage to actually get it for release on Saturday. I'm going to say no. My best bet at the moment is Sunday. That's my best guess. Maybe Monday. But I am working hard on this. I got to tell you, I do love working on it. It's really fun. And yeah, I love how it's coming together. I'm really, really pleased with it. But it's quite big. Did I mention that? It's quite big. So, yes. Now, one thing I will say with the Halloween stack design is that if you're thinking that it might take your fancy, then can I recommend that you come over and check out my Patreon membership, because there will be a discount code in there for it. I will also be giving away a couple, but that will probably have happened by the time you guys see this. So yeah, that's probably no help to you. But you might be interested to know that it is something that I do fairly regularly in my Patreon membership, that if I've got new designs, I do tend to give them away and or give discount codes for them as well. So yeah, worth thinking about, because it's usually a pretty good discount code for them. Anyway, let's move on to my last WIP work in progress to show you, and my new start. So this was a retreat new start because, I don't know, I feel like I can't go to a retreat and not have a new start. I'm sure not everyone does, but it is a fun thing to do, and I had something in mind, and I was also looking to find fabric for it, hopefully at the retreat, which I did. And then having found the fabric, I thought it would be fairly rude not to actually start it. So this is Halloween Sampler by Cottage Garden Samplings. And this is a chart I've had for a little while. And yes, what with it being, you know, September, spooky September perhaps. I was definitely looking for some spooky September stitching. Most of that has been my own spooky stitching, but I thought I'd throw a bit of other stuff in there as well, and I just wanted to get this started. So this is my little start. I just have 2 words, but I think it's looking pretty good. I do like the variegation on these threads. I think it looks really good on the fabric. I'll be honest, I could have gone a little darker with the fabric, but I actually really like it on this. Now, I'll take it off the board and show you the whole piece of fabrics. Obviously, well, this is bigger than I need. And I'll say I bought this because we had Fabrics by Crafty Kate. In fact, I was sat right next to them, which is pretty dangerous for me to be sat by the fabric table. And yes, I have a few more to show you in new stash. But this one, this is Desert, I think it was called. It's probably, I had it on my info panel anyway, but just as a reminder, this is 32 count linen in Desert. And this is the whole piece of fabric, just about, not quite the whole piece. It won't, this is square, so it's going to use kind of that, I guess. But it's a really fabulous neutral, this one. It's neutral, sort of beige, but it's got those slight undertones of almost greeniness in it as well, which is perfect for Halloween design. So yes, I am absolutely loving that. Just got those couple words in, and no, I don't know when I'm going to get back to that one either. Hopefully soon. And I think it'll stitch up quite quickly. And I will show you the threads. I am still umming and ahhing on threads for it, to be honest. I have got, I'll put them here. One is called for, one is not. I'll try and put them here so you can see them. So that's the two threads, the bluey one for the first letter, and then this one over here for the rest of the lettering. So that is Raven by the Gentle Art. That is called for the smaller letters. It's kind of just got that little hint of greeniness to it, which I didn't really expect actually. I didn't really expect it to be greeny. And then the other one is not called for. Couldn't tell you what the call for is, but I've got Elderberry from Cottage Garden Threads, and it's beautiful. Really, really nice. Absolutely love that. Definitely giving me the look that I'm after. So yes, I just happened to have it in my stash, and I thought there's no point me going and buying something else if I've got something that would work. So that's what I'm using. There's a few other threads in there which I'm still debating whether I'm using the called for or not. So we'll revisit that one as and when I make some kind of decision on that. Okay, new stash. Well, you've already seen my bed of fabric, and there was a bit of a theme for my retreat stash. I have a couple of things that aren't retreat stash as well, but the theme for the retreat stash was things need to come with friends. So I had things in mind that I wanted. So I wanted that piece of fabric. I wanted to find a piece of fabric for the pattern. I did. Absolutely fantastic. And it came with some friends as well, because I couldn't resist. So I've got a little itty bitty piece of linen. This one, let me check my thing. This one is that's a 36 count linen. So although it's quite a small piece, because it's 36 count, I can get something decent on that. And that is Night Eyes, which is a beautiful grey. Beautiful, beautiful grey. Really like that. I could see that being a favourite colour of mine that I might need more of again and again. Now this next one I can't get more of because this was actually a fabric of the month in May. So I say Crafty Kate, Fabrics by Crafty Kate. Kate does Fabric of the Month Club as well. And this one's an even weave. Again, only an itty bitty piece. And that's a 32 count even weave. But it's just lovely. And I just thought, well, I do like those bluey, greeny, turquoisey colours. I can see myself easily using that. So yeah, so that was my little fabric shopping. I then also was after some needle minders because you can never have too many. Now, particularly, I realised that having got Julia the Firefly Princess out to stitch on, I didn't really have a needle minder that worked for her. So we had, obviously we had a lot of shops at the retreat. We had Denkai Designs, and I got this beautiful, beautiful number. So this is if I turn it, sorry, you can see it's a flat one, and it has on the back, has the cutest little fluffy, that's the little magnety bit, beautiful little fluffy thing. And yeah, super, super cute. I hope you can see how beautiful that is because it's absolutely gorgeous. Just those purpley, pinky colours, perfect for Julia. So, you know, I went specifically for that one and, you know, felt like I needed that. It did come with a friend. It did come with a friend because I couldn't resist this one. Look at that. Yep, born to sparkle, but not today. Fantastic. And I've got a fabulous little backing on that one as well. So very, very cute. Loved that one. Then I went for the project bags, as you might expect, because I wanted another Halloween project bag. For my new Halloween project, I have only one Halloween project bag, and I thought it would be nice to see if Nicola of Be Crafty Bags, her bags are absolutely beautiful. It's hard for me to resist buying them, but I did specifically want a Halloween bag, so I thought shopping, it was fair. And yeah, she did not disappoint. She had this gorgeous bag, which I don't know how well this is going to show up in the lighting in here because it's quite dark fabric, but it's stunning. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And if I spin it round, you'll see the absolutely fantastic coordinating. Look at that zip as well. Look at that. How beautifully coordinated is that with the zip? Absolutely gorgeous. And yes, it came with a friend. Went for the Halloween bag. Came with a friend. You'll understand why. Just look at this. This bag is going to make me laugh every time I use it. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I saw the fabric and loved it, and then, wait for it, because look at the inside. It's pink. Yeah. Just yes. Just yes. I saw those little ducks peeking out and I was like, yeah, I need that one as well. And in fact, I think that would be really cute for my Little Pirates, because Little Pirates is in a floral bag. This is, I mean, it's not pirates, but it's, I don't know, it's cute and fun and water themed in some very, very vague way. So I'm going to put my little pirates in there. And then I think my last bit of stash was, now this one I was restrained. I bought one thing and it didn't come with friends. It very nearly did, but I was very good. I had a little rummage at the paint box threads. So beautiful. Oh, it is hard to just, I kind of just want to stand at the paint box threads and go, I'll have one of those and one of those and one of those and one of those and just everything. So it is kind of amazing I came away with one. Now I don't know, this is colour. This is a 12 weight cotton, variegated, and it says B08, VC12 B08. I don't know if that's the colour, but look at this. This, it's got a little loopy bit hanging out here now, but look, I hope you can see. I won't unwind it because you can actually see it better, I think, probably like this. And obviously I have unwound that off of, it came in its skein, and I've put it, this is a champagne, it's not champagne, champagne, it's probably Prosecco cork. And I unwound the entire skein, wound it on that, and that, the intention was for pattern I showed a number of weeks ago. I haven't got it with me here today. There's an Erin Elizabeth Designs pattern that's just stitched in one colour called Believe. Absolutely love it. Christmas design. And I think that thread would be beautiful for it. I don't have fabric for it. So I do need to go on a little hunt for something that thread will show up on. So gorgeous. So yes, I was very restrained and didn't buy any more. Did also get, as we're saying at the retreat, another one of these. Because I showed off that I'd done a thread order a number of weeks ago just to get one of these boxes. And we had Kate at the retreat from Lakeside Needlecraft and kindly brought us all a box. So now I have 2 of those. Now I'm wondering how many can I get my hands on? How many more thread orders do I need? I could keep going. I could build a stash of these. That could be quite handy. So that was all my retreat shopping. I have a few other little bits that I had bought before the retreat. One was I was ordering a kit that I wanted to get for my mum. And I couldn't buy just the one kit. I thought I would take the opportunity to stock up on a couple for me as well. Not that I need more, but you know, I was eyeing up the Rendales again, the Bothy Thread Rendales, because I love them, and yeah. So I did grab myself the Nutcracker because it's just adorable. I have had my eye on this one for a while, so, and I think they were like 5% off, so I thought, well, any excuse. So I've just got that on the 14 count Ada because all of the other ones I've done have been on 14 count Ada, so I'm keeping those all the same. But for the other one I got, this is called Eucalyptus, and this one's a smaller one. So this one would be, I probably would finish it maybe just in a hoop. So I've gone for the even weave on this one, and it's a oh, it says on the front, it says 14 count speckled twilight. It isn't, but you can tell it's the even weave because it does have it up there. I think it's a 32 count. I thought it was. Now I don't know. But I thought it was. I don't know. Anyway, those will be going away in stash. Not going to get to those for a while. And my final purchase is actually, this is probably the most exciting. I may have mentioned that I had fabric on order for the Legend of Freya, the brand new Bella Filipina that I absolutely fell in love with. And I've been getting ready for it. I've got pretty much all the threads ready to go. I've also got my pattern all ready, and I was waiting on fabric, which was being specially dyed for me by Sharon of Llewellys Fabrics. She was going to dye me a 28 count even weave. And this is amazing. If anyone's interested, the size I've gone for on this is 24 by 30 inches. So it's quite a big piece, and that will give me 4-inch margins. I like big margins for fancy ladies. Just makes sense. Because you never want to frame your fancy lady like crushed up against it. So it's good to have a little bit more fabric to play with. So that is the size that will fit Freya with a 4-inch margin. Just in case you're interested, on 28 count even weave, it's 24 by 30 inches. And when this arrived, I literally squealed because it's beautiful. And not only is it beautiful, it's also perfect. And if it's going to play nice on here, I mean, that's looking quite bright. I'm going to fold it a bit and show you because I think you'll see it better if I do this. And you see it's got tealy green tones to it, but also with purpley grey mottling. Yeah, I don't think the camera will do it justice. It's probably doing a fairly good job, but it's just, look at that. That's probably pretty good. I'm going to say that's probably pretty good. Cannot wait. But I'm going to have to wait because I'm going to start stitching it with a couple of other lovely ladies and 3 others actually that I'm starting it with now. And we've agreed a start date and it's November. And part of me is like, oh, I don't actually know how I can wait until November. Obviously I'm going to have to. I don't know how I'm going to wait, but actually it's not a bad thing because I have got lots of other stuff I want to get to before then. So at least I can kind of hopefully get some of my plans sorted, get my design done, get some spooky stitching done, work on Julia the Firefly Princess for a bit, and then be super ready to really focus on Freya when I dive in. If I do it now, I'm just going to be pulled in too many different directions. So I'm trying to tell myself it is a good thing that I have to wait until November for it. It is. Really. Okay, I need to start wrapping this up. So, plans. Well, I think everything's kind of probably fairly covered. First priority, still the same, get that Halloween stack finished, released, all done. And then I can dive back into the other plans that I had for September, such as my Whip Go plans, which is to complete something on my oldest project. So that's the hexagon on the James Webb Space Telescope, and an FFO, a fully finished object. So none of this seemed ambitious at the beginning of September, but now we're, getting towards halfway through and I haven't done any of the September plans, but it's fine. What else? Get back to my Anything Stitchy stitch along that we're doing in my Patreon membership. So that's Stitching Rules. So I'm doing part 3 of that. Again, done nothing on that in the last couple of weeks, so I need to try and get back to that one. The September part of the Stitchers Book Club, not even started on that one. Carry on with Whip into Shape. I'm currently behind on that one because that's the extended Whip into Shape, and week 1 was 310 stitches, which I have not yet done. And we're into week 2 and I've done none of that either, so all that's still to catch up on. The football challenge, which I am at least just about caught up on, so that's good. But obviously there'll be more totting up on that. So that will be ongoing. And hopefully actually get to that finish on the Sorceress with the beading and try and get that done. I did loosely have finish Seaside Tiny Town. That might be a step too far. I'd really like to, but who knows. And I wanted to dive into more stuff for Spooky September and do more Halloween stitching. Again, that might be a little overambitious, but we'll see where we get to, because once I finish that Halloween stack, I can really honestly get stuck into the other things. So a lot of this probably can happen, but we shall see. And of course, on top of that, I've got all my Catkin and Lily stuff that I've been getting on with. I had a stitchy snippet out on whether your fabric has to be drum tight if you have it in a hoop or frame. Tend to hear that a lot, that it must be drum tight. And I kind of want to dispel that particular little myth. So if you haven't seen that and you're interested, go and give that a watch. It's a stitchy snippet, really short. And the next plans for that is either another stitchy snippet or a stitch with me. Not quite sure on that front. The reason being that I'm actually on holiday next week. We're not going away all week. We might probably go away for a few days midweek, but I'm hoping, this is why I really want to get the Halloween stack done so I can get that one released, not least so you guys can have access to that, but also so that for my week off, I can dive into all those plans. So that means I also need to kind of get myself up together and ahead with any other tutorial videos and things like that. So I'm trying to make life easy on myself with either a Stitchy snippet or a stitch with me on that one. I have got my next live Q&A is happening in my Patreon membership on Saturday the 13th of September. So if you're watching this on release day, it's Saturday the 13th of September. So check that out if you're interested. I have got, oh, I've lost my train of thought. I did tell you I was scattered for this entire video. It's been very scattered. Anyway, live Q&A coming up. If you're interested, pop on over to the Patreon membership. As you might have noticed by now, there's a lot going on in there. So that's happening on Saturday. And holiday. And I've kind of mentioned the retreat, but this video has gone so long, I'm not going to talk any more about the retreat that I went to for the weekend. It was the Be Stitchy retreat in Solihull. It was amazing. Such fun. Yes, it was fantastic. But that brings us to the end of all my cross stitch updates. Again, probably not another short video. That doesn't happen because I waffle too much for that. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed seeing everything that I've got going on and hopefully got some of your own stitching done while you've been listening to me chat. I will be back, as I said, in a couple of weeks with my Flosstube, hopefully in between them with some other good stitchy stuff. So if you don't want to miss a single stitch, you know what to do. Make sure to subscribe and maybe even hit that notification bell. I do hope I'll see you again soon. So until then, happy stitching and bye for now.